Hey, it's Andy from ColorKit, and today I wanted to talk about color contrast and how it relates to accessibility. I'm also going to show you our color contrast checker that makes this really easy. Basically, you don't want two colors that are too similar, otherwise people with visual impairments are not going to be able to tell them apart and not be able to read your site or understand your interfaces. Now, let me show you the site here that I'm working with. This is on ColorKit, and you can see here underneath Tools, you'll find Color Contrast Checker. And you can see we have some default colors here, very dark green and a lighter green. You can swap the colors out also. It doesn't really matter if it's a foreground color or background color. The contrast is basically the same. Now, in terms of accessibility, there's a bunch of guidelines here. You can click this link here to actually read the full guidelines. Now, this isn't legal advice, but it's definitely good to make your interfaces and designs accessible for everybody so they can understand what's going on in them. Now, right now, I have a good accessibility contrast ratio. You can see we're passing all of the major tests. Now, basically, AA is like good accessibility, and then AAA is like very strict guidelines. Now, this might depend on what kind of project you're working on, things like that. I'm not going to get into the differences of these two, but basically, AA is like a good one to shoot for, and then AAA is like really, really good. So let's change the color here of the foreground. I'm going to make it closer to the lighter green. Now, you can see our contrast is changing here and actually failing now in every regard. So let me hit this little magic wand button. It'll actually automatically try to find an accessible color. So if you ever have a design that is trying to match up and you want to automatically find a color, you can use the little magic wand button. Like, let's see, let's hit the foreground button, and you can see it did a straight white color, and it only fails for the AAA small text. Now, there's three different categories that I've included in this tool. It's for UI components, small text, and large text. Basically, the contrast ratios are different for different types of components, so that's why we have all three of them here. So, of course, you can just paste in colors of your design right here, or you can click here and use the color picker and pick anywhere, even out of your browser. If you have Photoshop open or something like that, to pick a color. Let me, for example, let's pick this one, and then I'll pick the background color we have here. Just keep in mind, if you have a gradient as a background, you're probably going to want to look at the least contrasting part so you know across the range if it matches up to your interface. Now, over here on the right is an example of what we're looking at here. So, of course, it looks just like the page, but if we make it darker, you can see we're instantly starting to fail all of the accessibility requirements. But yeah, that's a quick overview of color and how it relates to accessibility. It's very important to nail this down, and definitely don't use colors that are terrible combinations and they're hard for people to read. If there's anything you'd like to see added to this tool, definitely let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.